Okay. Hello, everybody. This is the first time we thought we are going to talk about something new. We work in a domain of patents, and it has so many new things going on that we thought, why don't we translate into how it may change the future of a particular technology industry? So my name is Deepak. I have with me Mahesh. I will let Mahesh introduce himself.
Hi guys, my name is Mahesh. I work with patent data day in, day out. One of the things I see is like a lot of people are actually scared of patents, and that is one of the beliefs I want to change because you see at any patent, it's like a very simple atomic idea at the core, and that is what we want to actually make you believe so that you are not scared of patents. You can look at the patent data, you can get insights out of it, you can kind of look into the future because we see patents as a window into the future.
Quite true. I think I still remember when in 2008, first time I came across patents. Somebody told me that imagine if you get access to a library which has all the books that have ever been written on every topic. They are in one library, and whenever you are facing any problem, let's suppose with how to manage people, you go into that library and you have one excellent book in there. You read it and you can solve the problem. I said that would be amazing, and he said there is a library in Washington DC which is the world's largest library, and it has every book that you can imagine. They have preserved over there. So I said that's awesome. And then he said that now imagine the same thing which I'm telling you about books, about every invention that humans have ever thought about is there in one library. And whenever you're facing any problem, you go to that library and there is some book which has a solution for it. And that's absolutely changed my perspective about things, that how we use books, we should actually use this patent for it. Anyway, let's get down. We will pick one random topic and see what it is out there. So which topic you are picking, Mahesh, this time?
So Deepak, this time we are going to pick voice interface technology. And if I say
what
it
is
in
voice interface technology?
very simple words, it's like you should be able to talk to your computer. And this is something that had just begun in the last couple of years, although people have been dreaming of a time when you would be able to talk to your computer and it will not show you things on the screen and it will not ask you to basically click things or touch things. So it's like right now we communicate with computers through our thumbs, through our fingers, these were not designed to basically communicate. We communicate naturally through our voice, and these days a lot of the big companies, they are basically trying to make this dream possible, and we are seeing devices like Alexa, and our phones have this capability, but this is just the beginning phase right now. And if you look into patents, then you see like a completely different picture. You use this Siri on your phone, for example, and everybody knows that right now it's not that smooth. You can get some things done with it, but still you have to be in close proximity to the phone. You may need to look at the phone. You may need to unlock the phone. So even though Siri understands a lot of things, you still need to be in that hybrid mode where you are actually looking at the display as well as talking to it.
So what's new is coming in this?
So I took a look at some of the Amazon's latest patents, and I saw what things they are trying to solve. And some of the patents, they actually kind of blew my mind. Not necessarily that the technology is, that much advanced, but the implications of it, also some of the nuances associated with when you move from a screen-based interface to a voice-based interface, they are like the situation is completely different. So we will pick up, a couple of patents, and then we will talk about what is their central idea, what the problem they are solving, and then when you go and try to implement it in the real world, what problems you come across, and then
I'm
how
excited, Mahesh.
again how you
Tell me.
solve them. So the first patent we are going to pick, super simple, makes a lot of sense, but comes with a nuance. So you must have already seen it when you use when you say, for example, "Hey Siri," and at that point of time, suppose your phone is actually playing music.
Hmm.
Then it's like when you are um, speaking the command that you want to give to your phone, then in the background there will be this music, right? And it is possible the phone may not even be able to understand what exactly you are saying. So the very simple idea behind this patent is, once a person says this wake word, for example, I say, "Hey Alexa," then what Alexa will do is, if it is playing music, then either it will reduce the sound of that music, or it will stop the music for a while. So that makes a lot of sense, right? So it's such a simple idea, but the nuance is, what happens if um, the music that is being played, or maybe it's a video that is being played, or if it is an advertisement that is being played, and in the advertisement itself somebody is saying, "Hey Alexa." So
Yeah.
it's like, it's not the person speaking, and these devices are always listening for this wake word. Then what it will do is, it will reduce the sound itself, right? Even though nobody is speaking. So that would be a little problem, little nuance with this. And the way and like an extreme case of which it would be, somebody's playing "Hey Alexa" on repeat, and then the device would be, eternally it would be confused what is happening. So a very simple fix would be, at that point of time, it will see whether it was playing some music, and since Alexa can also control all the home devices, not just itself, it would be able to see, whether it was some video or some music that was playing, and on the basis of that, it will check whether the this command is coming from a real person or it is coming from one of the devices, and then it will take an appropriate action.
Oh, I remember there was a big thing that happened when uh, actually Google and Alexa started advertising uh, on televisions, and their advertisements had this kind of thing like "Hey Alexa" or "Okay Google," and it woke up everybody's device at their home. Right? Thousands of people, millions of people, device already woke up, and when this advertisement ran, and I remember it was such a big news. It was in national television, and at that point of time, Amazon, Google quickly came up, and they did some changes, firmware update overnight, so that it can differentiate between the voice of a human or maybe the one that is coming up electronically. But I understand that this is like another solution you are saying. This is not really differentiating between a voice that is coming like from me and from a speaker. This is like it is coming from my own network, so
Yeah.
I should disregard this particular voice, which is like a interesting way of looking at uh, solving a problem. I mean, this is like what we call it as tangential case, that if you forget it, it will create problem in real life scenario.
It's an edge case, and this is something which will not come to your mind if you are just doing this for the first time.
Yeah, yeah. But how would this be applied in other situation? Because when we talk about voice, uh, I think people are saying that voice is going to be the next paradigm shift. So what I mean by paradigm shift is like we had cars, which changed the way mankind functioned during the middle of the century, 20th century, which was like 2050 to 2000, for example. Sorry, 1950s to 2000. So as a human society, we grew because cars came up, and rails were there before it. So we could do business between different states, different cities. Humans can start living in suburban areas. They can go to the malls, which even they are far. And then I think internet came up, which was again a paradigm shift, which brought up, and then mobile came up, which brought another paradigm shift. And now we don't know what is going to be, the next thing. Will it be the voice? Will it be, the AI, or will it be what? I have no idea. But I have a very interesting incident with this, because it blew my mind when 4 years back, I think it was 2016 or 17, I was in US. And I had my flight on Friday. I had to fly back from US. And there's a meeting came up, because of which I had to delay the flight. So Chakshu and me were in the car, and we got a meeting invite, client accepted, and we thought that, let's delay my flight. So Chakshu said, just call the airline and delay the flight. Okay. So I picked his phone. I dialed the airline. I think it was United Airline. And I thought that I will put it on speaker. It will keep going on, press 2, press 3, press 9, like how it happens. And the phone was immediately picked up. And they said, what can I do for you? I said, I want to change my flight. And I said, okay, tell us your existing flight number. I narrated my flight number, then said that, which date you want to change? I said, I want to change it to next Thursday. And they confirmed, okay, next Thursday is 24th October. I said, yes, 24th October. Said that, okay, the flight on 24th October is cheaper than your current flight, so no extra charge is going to be there. You will just be charged $250 for a flight change. Are you okay? I said, okay. Or for the money charge. He said, thank you, your flight has been changed. You were talking to a robot. Thank you very much. I was like, what? I was talking to a robotic voice. I didn't realize basically anything that I was talking to.
You suddenly stepped
really
into the
blew
future.
My mind. I disconnected the phone. I told Chakshu, I didn't realize I was not talking to a person, because the voice was not robotic, right? Maybe because of if they would have not said this disclaimer in the end, I would have never realized that I was talking to a computer. And there was no option, they didn't say, tell me your date in DD, MM, YY, or anything like that. The questions were in such a way that, I could say October 24th, and they were able to understand October 24th, right? And maybe they knew that these questions will have a very straightforward answer, so they designed. I have no idea. But 4 years back, this was such an amazing thing, and that took me back to maybe my college days. I think in 2000 or 2001, I got a computer. Those like big computers, white, black color monitors that were there, and they also had a voice thing. I don't know if you guys remember or not. When you install the Windows, it used to say that, hey, would you like to also have voice operated? And I was like, yeah, I want to have voice operated, right? And then it used to speak these sentences, and Windows, you speak those because it's going to train in your voice. It never used to work. And then I think Microsoft Windows, Word also had the same kind of thing, that you speak and it's going to type. And it never used to work. I used to think that it is because of my accent and it is only going to work in US. But I used to try it like multiple times. But that really blew me off. And I think after 2-3 years, then Google showcased the same technology. I think that they say that how you can book a reservation in a restaurant by talking to a phone. And at that time, I thought that maybe they were testing it with United Airlines, that will this technology work or not? But I don't know if I can really talk like an assistant, like a really human being or not. But I'm sure that very soon we are going to using more and more the voice thing as compared to the typing stuff.
This has always been on the horizon, Deepak, but somehow for the lack of better technology, it has never really worked. But it's undoubted that once this comes and it starts working, it will change very much how the future look like. Because if you see in any
Yeah,
futuristic movies, the way they show this is the future is like they put screens everywhere. So, and they have like these transparent screens here. They are doing all of these flicky gestures, and that's what
yeah,
people have in mind. But that is not where we are going. We will be going
yeah,
where the technology is much more ambient. It's hidden.
yeah,
It's there, but it's hidden, and you interact with it, and maybe you do not even look like you are interacting with technology. You are doing your stuff. You are doing something, and then you are talking to it, and you are getting that information. So one of the best use cases that I use this is, um, I'm reading a book, and then I come across a difficult word. It's a big distraction to basically open up a dictionary, or check it even on your phone, because the attention is gone. But if I could really ask, hey Alexa, what's the meaning of this word? I get that, and I don't get distracted. I don't basically switch my attention. So this is actually going to give you some of the time and attention that technology is taking away from you right now. It's going to give it back to you, and I think that's how tech should be.
I
It
really
should
don't
not
know if
become
that is
the
going to happen, because what you said is that by reading a book, if I want to know the meaning of a word, I will ask Alexa. Because normally we don't behave in this way. When we are in doubt, we don't speak our doubt to somebody. So I really don't know if this is how we will move to. Maybe we will, but as human, normally we do not act in this way, right? Uh, but I would be curious that what will make us shift in this direction where we'll start speaking up. I think those uh, those problems would probably have a different answer. So what I mean by different answer is that maybe uh, what Musk is building with OpenAI, I think that may be most probably the answer, that you have a glasses and your brain can communicate that what you want to know, and your answer appears on your glass. I feel that as a much more feasible, non-intrusive solution to finding the word meaning of a word, as compared to speaking up with it. I don't know, but that is how I think. Um,
I think
and the
that
reason
that's
is because,
mhm.
yeah,
I think that's just another level, Deepak. But the way I imagine it is, uh, suppose a friend of mine is sitting with me, and the first thing I would do while reading a book, and I come across a difficult word, is I would first ask him, do you know if it, because that's so natural, right? That's how we communicate. Um, so I think that once this technology starts working smoothly without these hiccups, it would be much more easier to do this. Of course, if I can just think about it, and maybe as a next step, um, it just reads what I want, and then I don't even have to express it. That's
mhm,
definitely one step next. But I think this would also be much more smooth if it works without hiccups.
true.
So
I
it's
think
like,
you mentioned two things, like one where you were talking about sci-fi movies where you are using gesture. I would say more of that thing, like what Facebook is trying to build with Oculus, like Metaverse, the term that they have coined. Um, so it is that direction. Another is like voices. Either they can become part of the Metaverse, or it is like the existing system that we have. So I don't know what will come first, but I think maybe it's like a intersection of these two. It could be there, and sometimes it is good to also see what is happening in in China. I've seen that is like a give you another perspective, because they are always ahead of the curve. I've seen they're using the technology much more faster than anybody else. Um, and when I was in China last, I mean, of course, pre-COVID kind of thing, uh, WhatsApp had no voice message at that point of time, right? It was completely text. And I sat in the taxi. and in the taxi, all of the drivers had like the mobile phone like in the front, right? And they were not watching the map like we have and everywhere else, but they had like some messaging system open. I don't know, it was WeChat or what was there, but it was constantly being played, and there were a lot of groups which were messaging each other. Everybody was talking to voice. That means he used to play one particular message, and then every message of any other person. It's like how should I say? It was Clubhouse preconceived in you can say 5 years back,
Mm-hmm.
but not like actively speaking. People were sending messages to each other, but not like live talking. You can say it could be live talking as well. But if I connect the dots, you can say that it was an old version of Clubhouse that was there. So I think if we go into China and see that what is happening with the voice, are they really interacting with it or not? We will be able to visualize what is going to happen in here. But yeah,
Like
amazing
they
stuff
say,
that is there.
the future is already here. It's just not
Yeah.
evenly distributed.
Yeah, very true, very true. What
So,
else? I mean, do you have another thing?
yeah. I have like a few more
Oh, cool.
more interesting patterns. Um, so Deepak, one of the things people would want to do with these devices would be they would also want to basically do shopping through them, and they would
Yeah,
have to,
absolutely.
that would definitely involve some kind of authentication.
True.
And today most of the authentication is done through enter your PIN code, or authenticate using your fingerprint. Things like that again requires you to interact. But how do you basically um, do an authentication, give it permission to maybe deduct some money from your account just by
But why do you
speaking?
want to do that? If you have Alexa at home and you're already signed in, so isn't it same like Amazon Prime? You're already signed in. You just press a button and it's like ordered.
So it has to be pre-configured. But
Yeah. So
imagine,
everybody is already signed in, and when they have Alexa at home.
yeah, but if you are using it just at home, and then Amazon does not have plans to just limit it to your home, it has to be everywhere. If you are in your car,
Mm,
you're still with Alexa. You go into an Amazon Go store, you can still communicate with the Alexa that is there. And
mm,
that pre-configuration is basically just another headache. So
mm,
it ideally it should be able to recognize your voice, and then do the authentication that this is the right person who is speaking. But the
okay.
first thing that comes into the mind, first fear that comes into the mind is, suppose you are saying your password, and then anybody can record you speaking that password and then play that again. So it's called a replay based attack, the simplest attack
Okay.
out there for
Yeah, that's
for
true.
this thing. And the way they are solving this is, um, whenever you are going to say this password,
Hmm.
the speaker is going to play some sort of noise which
Okay.
may be entirely inaudible, but the speaker
Okay.
can hear it. So whenever
Okay.
it is asking you to say your password, then when you say that, that the speaker is creating some kind of a watermark. So it's
Hmm.
creating some sound which also gets recorded along with your password.
Hmm.
And then it's going to check, is it the voice plus the watermark, the person's password plus the watermark? And if that is so, it's going to give a green signal, that's okay. But if somebody is there, they have some microphone bugged over there, it's going to record that watermark plus your voice. And the interesting thing here is this watermark is going to be different for every single time that you are, you know, putting in your. So it's like an
Hmm.
OTP. And if somebody replays you saying that password, it has that watermark, and the 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 the, the system sees, okay, this is this has two watermarks. One that I just created, one that was created before.
But I don't
So
understand. I mean, if my password is like abracadabra, so you can just record abracadabra and play it anywhere else, like in Alexa. So wouldn't that be the same? I mean, there's no watermark right now when we are talking. There's no background sound.
So it has to be, it has to be something that you would not, say within a conversation, because typically passwords are like,
Oh,
some
okay.
weird
So you mean
stuff,
to say
right?
that this is specifically when people try to steal your voice when you are interacting with
When
Alexa?
you are
It's like
interacting,
only
when
that.
you are saying that
Okay,
password,
okay, okay.
yes.
Interesting. I mean,
So
oh, people are thinking that. But I think if Amazon is thinking about it, that means the word that you say that they are. This is not going to the problem in the home, because right now these devices are limited to a secured private walls. You don't worry about
yes,
that. But that means they are going to bring up in outside the walls also. So I don't know where they will bring. I mean, how they're going to use it, where they're going to use it
maybe
outside the home.
maybe in stores.
I mean, how about stores? I mean, you go to the Walmart, for example, and
Hmm.
you speak, say that. Oh, okay. You mean to say that like right now we pay through Apple Pay. So I
Hmm.
use my phone and touch it, so it's give payment. And you would say that I don't want to use Apple Pay. I want to use Amazon Pay. So you
Hmm.
select Amazon Pay, and you say the password abracadabra, and then your payment is made. Is it like that?
Your payment is
I
done
don't know. You're
while
not
you are
going to,
going out of, while you
but
are
you're not
going
going
out of this. so,
to.
sorry, you
But how
go
you
on.
know? You are not going to say your password in public, right?
You would be saying that in public. I think that's the only idea. And even if you are saying that in public, it's like it recognizes it's you who is saying, and then I think it would not be an end solution, because um, there would be layers of security on top of this, because right now it does not seem like this is completely bulletproof, right? But this
No, I
is.
understand. But the
Mhm,
person who has come up with this idea,
mhm.
within the Amazon team or Alexa team, he would definitely be solving some challenges. It's not that you can come up with any idea and file a patent on anything. So I'm just trying to think that what he was working on. Was he working on the theft issue within the home, um, or they are imagining that such devices will be used in hotels, for example, in every room? Is that what they thought about? Um, because our credit card had same problem. You took the credit card, they were able to map the RFID and steal it. I'm not sure how the voice will be used for authentication outside my home. For car, I don't know. I'm not going to speak my password when open. Abracadabra, open my car.
So Deepak, maybe
Yeah.
that's an inhibition right now, because we are all so secretive about our passwords. But maybe um, when this tech has reached and then to that level, and it has gained the trust of people, then people say, this is my password. Or maybe, everybody has the same password.
Mm,
Make the payment. That's the word. But only when you
mm.
speak it. And it has never happened, anybody else can, speak it and
No, but
still
that's
get
more
it
about biometric then.
authenticated.
That my voice
Yes.
is my signature.
But then
I think.
if it's just a microphone, then it cannot differentiate between, whether it's the person who is speaking, and if somebody just records you with a high fidelity um, microphone, then
Mm,
to the microphone, it's the same thing, right? It's just sound waves. So I
mm.
think that's the idea, just to remove this particular variable. Somebody has recorded somebody saying something, and then it works.
I think there's another way how this could be looked at. This may be far fetched, but maybe these Amazon guys are working on it. So it may be that we know that Oculus is already in the market, right? People are using it for playing games. People are using it to train train their people. In last month, I was in a session where there was a company who already do this to train the medical staff on how to operate in an operation room before they send them into operation room. So they train them in that. So very real life scenarios. Now, if we combine that with what Facebook is doing, so if I am in a virtual world, which is like a metaverse, and if I am going around in places, or I want to buy a jeans, for example, from Gap, and I'm at a Gap store, I'm looking at the jeans, I like this, I can try myself, right? In the metaverse, I can say that I like this, and my appearance will change there. And if you want to buy a jeans over there, the payment can be made with Alexa, for example. And I can easily speak my password, and it would not be heard by anybody else who is there, because in Metaverse, you can control that your voice is only heard by the Alexa that is there, by nobody else. So in that situation, it can work. But I can't think of anything else. Because when you were saying it took me back to when I went to Amazon Go store. Mm-hmm. I think it was in California. It was a very small store, right? But I thought that I will go inside, and going inside was also an experience. You have the phone in your pocket, but if the Amazon app is already signed in, the door opens up automatically.
Yeah.
You go inside, and you can pick anything from the store, and you can go out, and automatically it gets added into your cart and it gets checked out.
That's completely transparent.
It was like an amazing experience. I don't know how I will do the grocery shopping in that particular way, but I could see the use of this, in the metaverse, because I would not have a phone in my pocket when I'm in a virtual world. So what it would be, maybe it would be my voice, maybe it would be my voice password to buy the things. But this excites me that what things might be coming up in the near future. Do you play games a lot? I don't know how these virtual reality games are doing right now. I mean, how do you buy things there? Do you still do it physically through credit card?
Yeah, it's you still put in your credit card information. That's how you buy it.
But when you are in the virtual world, you can't. I mean, Roblox is kind of a precursor to Metaverse. I don't know if you have been in Roblox or not. It is actually a virtual world. People are building their own things, houses, everything. They have a virtual avatar. There are two avatars in front of them. Can have a podcast like we are having. They can talk in that particular world, sitting on top of Eiffel Tower, and have a podcast and record it as well, and can publish in the same world. So everything is possible. So in Roblox, this could be done. If you want to buy something inside. So I don't see this as more like a sci-fi thing. This could be reality. And since when we talk about patents, like 20 years time period, I'm sure they are building something in 20 years, I guess.
And Deepak, this need not necessarily always be related to, making payments, but it could also be, for example, you have these admin rights to any Alexa, and then you are just maybe authorizing it for that. So it could be that also.
Interesting. Yeah. So we have, I think, 30 minutes time period. What do you want? You have some more things? We can quickly come up in the 10 minutes and, think about what else they are doing.
I'll just pick one other patent, and then I'll leave the rest.
Okay. Cool.
And this one is like something which I found a little bit of, sort of maybe a possible dark future where no matter what I do, I'll never be able to, get in complete control of my data, or how the companies are actually profiling me and what they know about me. So the idea here is, there are tons of patents about user profiling, making a database of what this person likes, what they don't like. And right now it's more like just, simple Um, Simple approaches, for example, the keywords people use. So if I use the word cricket a lot, then
Mm-hmm.
then it will put that into my preference. Show this guy ads about
Yeah.
cricket, right?
Yeah. This is like common how everybody's doing right now.
Um, so one nuance of the same thing is maybe I hate cricket so much, and I'm always saying I hate cricket. Why
Oh.
why people keep on, you know,
Yeah. True.
uh, why people watch cricket? And in that case, it would still pick the word cricket because this is one of the parameters along which people have likes or dislikes. Uh, but mix it with something like natural language processing, and then it will see your preferences. So not only you can have a positive preference for something, but you can also have a negative preference. So that means when I say I like cricket, it means one thing, but I don't like cricket means another thing. So that is
Okay.
something uh, companies are going to do in the coming years. They are going to have much more richer profile of different people. But then there was this one small paragraph within one of these patents, which completely changed my perspective of how it's going to be. And now it's like you have this NLP layer on top of what you are hearing, because all
Mm-hmm.
of these devices will be hearing our conversations, and on the basis of that, um, they will be doing the profiling. So you see, when I'm talking to you, for example, and suppose we are friends, and then there is somebody, some third friend we have, and suppose we are
Mm-hmm.
planning for um, that third friend's birthday party, and you are saying to me, you know what we should do? We should go to a water park because he likes
Mm-hmm.
swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Now, uh, we are not only giving information about ourselves, but also
Mm-hmm.
about this third friend that we have. And
Mm-hmm.
then the system will be able to see who is it they are talking about and what is that person like. So it's
Oh,
like
you mean how? But how would it recognize it? You mean from the voice?
from the voice
Because it would, for
itself,
him, it would be like a guest itself.
it would be a guest, but since we would also be saying about Chakshu's birthday party that is coming, then it will see, okay, Chakshu is
Oh, that's
somebody who is
crazy.
not in this
Oh man,
conversation,
this is
but
like a
then
graph of your every, all your network, like physical friends and everyone who are not online. They are going to make, connections with them. Oh my God,
so
that's
there
crazy.
will be profiles for them as well. And since right now some people who are like very much conservative about their privacy, they are like, okay, I don't use a smartphone. You cannot profile me. You cannot track me. So
Yeah.
even if you don't have any gadget, and if you know
Oh, that's
people,
crazy.
then they will still be able to make a profile out of
So
you
this
and
is
what
like
you are
Amazon
like.
patent. When they filed it, do you know that? When actually they came up with this idea?
Um, so I don't remember the exact date of this patent, but it's like the patents that I saw were filed in last 3 years. So it must have been
Oh
somewhere in those three
man,
years.
that's crazy. Because this Alex, I
And
have a
then
Google Home at my place, and yes, you have to say command, okay, Google, hey Google, things like that. But it's actively listening all the time. Because if I'm having a conversation with my daughter and if I say that, hey Dia, can you say a rhyme that you learned today in Chinese, at your school, and Google Home is going to pop up. Which rhyme you would like to hear? And I'm like, I'm not talking to you. It's actively listening. It doesn't require a command now. And um, so if I look at my router data, that I have at home, the maximum bandwidth is actually eaten by this Google Home. It's actively sending everything that's it's coming inside to Google server. I mean, now if I hear what you said, it's like it all makes sense that they are like doing all these mumbo jumbo calculations at the back end from this kind of information. Oh, that's crazy.
and another a literal side to it would be the way people perceive themselves. They think of they have some image of them, but then other people have a different image of me, right?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
that is actually, if you see, that is actually more accurate than than my own
That
image.
is more accurate. Yes, your perspective of mine is much more accurate than what I think about myself. But how does it relate to what you're saying? How does it relate to
So
this Amazon idea?
so this means that if somebody just listened to me, they would have one profile which will be more like an image of more like an image of how I see myself. But if they're also listening to all of my friends and what they are saying about me, and then combine that with the information they got from me, then it's going to be like it's it's more accurate than how I know myself, and it's more accurate than what others know, how I am. So it would be like it will not be a person, but it would be the algorithm knows the best who I am, not me,
Oh
not
yeah.
not any one single person other
You
than
mean
me.
the Amazon would know more about me than I know about myself or my colleagues know about myself? It would know, that I say something else to my girlfriend, something else to my friend, and something else to my father, and it knows that when I'm lying and when I'm not actually.
Yes, so
Oh
that
man,
would
that's
be
like crazy
maybe in
stuff.
some cases that would be the best advisor in some situations, as in what I should do, because it has complete record of what am I like, what I've done in the past, and everything like that. But Deepak, there is another layer on top of it, and that is people would also be able to tap into this profile of any single
Yeah, they're going to
person.
sell to businesses, of course, in one way or the other.
And then hear me out when I describe this another idea, this another paragraph from one of these patents. It's like you are talking on a phone with somebody. Say you are talking um, to one of your friends, and
Right.
then you want to take them out for maybe for maybe lunch, and then you are uh, brainstorming as in where we should go, what we should do. Then it's like Alexa is going to whisper in your phone. It will not be, it will not be, uh, the other person will not be able to hear it. So it's going to whisper in your phone, your friend likes Italian. So in that case, you
Yeah,
will be
how
able
can
to,
Alexa share the information about other person with me? And
because
you
it
mean to say
has
that
created
if
that profile. So it's going to tap into that profile and it will know exactly what this other person is like. And if you want to maybe impress them or get them to say yes to maybe a date or maybe for a lunch or maybe for a business meeting, it would be able to guide you exactly, because you don't know what that other person is like and what they will say yes to, but Alexa knows, and it can tell you, you propose this and this person will say yes.
Oh, okay. So this is more like how Facebook has like what to show to your friends and what to show to friends of friends. So if I have a profile, Alexa profiles me, maybe some part of it is public. So like you talk about French or Italian. And that public part, Alexa is free to tell to the people whom I'm talking to. And if they can say that, hey, I like French or French restaurant, then I'm more likely to be, to be used the same thing. I can't visualize that kind of world. I don't know how it's going to be and what will happen, but
A lot is going to
it
depend
could
on
be
these access
these
policies, as
two.
in who has access to what data and
Yeah.
how, because I mean that data is going to control everything. It's like
Yeah.
once you profile the subconscious of somebody, and it's like 80% of the decision people are going to take will be unconscious decision, or by or based in their unconscious personalities, and you have a profile for that. You can get, virtually you can get anybody to do anything. So so that is something that would make of
I
a
don't
good
want. I want to
Black
stop
Mirror
in that
episode.
visualized world. Yeah, it's very much like Black Mirror, as you said. But it's amazing what these guys are thinking. Like what Amazon is thinking internally. It's like crazy. I mean, And these are like whispers, right? You get to hear what patterns are talking about, like a whispers. You get to see the world that they are imagining future. Oh my, crazy. It was fun, Mahesh, talking to you. I think this we should do more often. We should talk about more such ideas on what is going to come up in future. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Mahesh. I think let's pick up another topic and read again.
Yeah.
And if others have more interpretation of how these technologies may be used in future, I think people should write, right? I mean, they should discuss.
Definitely.
I would
Yes.
love to read that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Nice
Thank you,
talking
Deepak.
to you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.